to Wednesday and welcome to the Contrarians live chat. Tonight's topic, compilation chaos. We're going to talk comps today, so we want to hear from you in the chat. Let's get started. Man, that was a long intro. Hey, it's Wednesday. We are live, and it's the Contrarians live chat. I want to welcome tonight's panel. We've got Mike Lodano. Grab a stack of rock. Please subscribe. Please like. We've got Jamie Laszlo. We've got Martin Popoff, of course, and we've got Johnny Metal with his beard. And we also have Tim Durling from Tim's Vinyl Confessions. He's throwing his horns out, so for God's sakes, check out his channel. Tonight, we are talking compilation chaos. So I'm not exactly sure who came up with this topic, but we're going to go with it. And we're going to go 3, 3, and 4 like we always do. We're going to keep it interactive. We want to hear from everybody in the chat. If you don't know what we're talking about in the chat, you soon will. So I'm going to go Martin. What am I going to do? This is what we're doing. I'm going to go Martin, Johnny Metal, Tim, me, Lodano, and Jamie Laszlo. Now, Peter Kerr was supposed to be on tonight's show. He had a conflict, so I am going to fill in for Peter Kerr. So anyway, Martin, give us your first 3. Let's get this show on the road.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with a bit of a theme here. It's a new wave of British heavy metal theme. I've got an entire History in 5 Songs with Martin Popoff audio podcast episode just about the new wave of British heavy metal comps. But that's what I'm going to talk about here. So my first one is this new Electric Warriors comp. I've always loved this comp. It's a Logo Records comp. But the cool thing about this is, as I survey these tracks, I don't think a single one of these bands ever put out an actual full-length album. Actually, Vardis did. Silverwing actually as well. But a lot of these did not show up on any full-length albums at all. We've got Turbo, Buffalo, Street Fighter, Stormtrooper, Tarot, Bastille, Oxum, Dawn Watcher, Rab Stallion, Colossus, Jedediah, Strat, all super rare stuff. And a lot of people at the time made fun of this album cover because it's just got kind of it's like a Kawasaki 250 as a bike there instead of something really tough, right? And the other thing is the guys in the background are all just playing air guitars. So it's like this guy just showed up on his Kawasaki 250, ready to go over there and play air guitar. But he actually brought a real guitar, which is kind of bizarre. But yeah, this is a really good comp. My second one is the Rock Snacks compilation. Now, this I never owned on vinyl. This is Grant. You got that one handy there?
Well, I got to find it. Hold on. Okay. Yes, sir. I've got it.
There you go. So I don't have this on vinyl. I never had this on vinyl. This would be one of those sort of, $300 records at this point. But it had Saracen, Samurai, and Hollow Ground. Hollow Ground is the best band on this. So this is one of the rare new wave of British heavy metal comps. And I've just got these burns I got from a buddy. And these 3 always go together in this discussion. The 3 expensive comps are Rock Snacks, Scene of the Crime, and Rock's Caliber. And Rock's Caliber's, Black Rose, Brands Hatch, Satan Marauder, I guess 4 or 5 from each of those bands. And then the other one, Scene of the Crime, has Sparta, Tyrant, Manitou, Panzer Division, and Savage. So yeah, these are really cool. And my last one, oh, sorry, I didn't go in the right order there.
You screwed me up, but that's okay.
I know, sorry about that. My number 9 actually technically is the Mother's Pride EP. And I wanted to pick this because obviously this is one that people are going to mention. I don't know if this is coming in. Metal for Mothers 2 doesn't look as cool, although it's kind of classy, but we've had this on the show before. But a lot of people forget that there was this EP in the middle, and I think it looks really cool in just that red and black like that. And it's got Wildfire, Wild Dogs, Quartz back in the band. So that's a non-LP Quartz track. White Spirit, Red Skies, and Baby Jane, Baby Jane. It's only like four tracks on it. but 3 of those are actually really cool. And the quartz is neat. So that's a cool rarity. It's actually rarer than the two albums. So that is my first 3. And I just wanted to mention, we got a good crowd here already. Wow. And thanks for everybody for coming. Let's see what we've got in the comments here. Stairway to Heaven, Highway to Hell. That might be coming up actually today. I'm not sure. Let's see. Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. That's Tim talking there. Metal for Breakfast. Yeah, that was a good one. I don't think anybody's got that one tonight. But thanks everybody for coming. And Grant, who's next?
All right, we're gonna go with Johnny Metal and his beard.
Right. So some of these are like favorite compilations, and some of them are just really cool covers. So I probably crossed a little bit of a line with that one. But if we're gonna talk compilations, you got to talk about the king of them. So let's look at KAOS, just this one here.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, fantastic. 22 original hits, 22 original stars.
Look at that. I got it too. Wow.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my God.
It's not even one of my picks. I just had it out as an honorable mention. I can't believe I have it too. So
Martin, now wait a minute. You had to have had that since you were a kid, though.
No, I had it as a kid, though. I mean, not to usurp Johnny's talk, but I mean, I totally remember this for Focus, Hocus Pocus, and the Sweet Little Willie. I had this as a kid. I don't know if this is my copy, but those were awesome on this thing.
Yeah.
But there's a misnomer here. It says 22 original hits, 22 original stars, but Elton John's on here twice.
Okay.
Well.
But Martin's already mentioned a couple of things, but you got Maureen McGovern, Rod Stewart, Barry White, Gun Hill Road, Cliff Richard,
Devil Woman must be on there then, right?
No. Cliff Richards is Power to All Our Friends.
Wow.
This came out in 73. So
73.
So this was a few years before Devil Woman. I actually have that on a 45, believe it or not. But anyway,
this was our introduction to the suite, though, for us in Trail, BC in Canada, like hearing it here first. And that was really cool. Yeah, no, there's no Brownsville Station on here, Smoking in the Boys Room. But
no,
that was another great one on one of these.
Yeah, but this is actually my family's original copy.
Wow,
I've held on to it all these years.
That was awesome.
Okay, so from KAOS, we're going to go back to Christmas time with and I've mentioned this maybe a few times. Windham Hill put out a series called Winter Solstice. I just love this thing, and I don't know, this cover to me, just there's just something very peaceful and serene about that. So I enjoy that. For if you just like some good instrumental stuff. Bernie, yes, I can answer that question. Yes, it was 11 tracks on each side, heavily edited and really compressed, if my memory serves me correctly. Okay, my last one, and I figure I got to bring a metal thing in here somewhere. So let's talk about this one here called The Axemen. This is a compilation of a bunch of Christian metal bands, believe it or not, released on Pure Metal Records in 1988. So, if you're in the Christian metal scene from the 80s, you got bands like White Cross, Bride, Saint, Light Force, Jerusalem, Scarlet Red, just to name a few, Rosanna's Raiders. But a fun little compilation for that. So it shows off a lot of guitar players, of course. So there you go. That's my first 3.
All right. Awesome. Let's take another quick look over to the comments. We've got Norman Richardson from the 90s with Soul Asylum, Screaming Trees, Boo Radley's Darling Buds. That's pretty cool. Yellow Pills, Volume 1, 2, and 3.
Those are great.
That's cool. Let's see. First heard Billy Squire, The Stroke. Grant gets all the compilations at the truck stops.
I do. No, I go to the Gentleman's Club. They have like a little thing up in front. I just get them there.
Yeah. I used to like the TV commercials. Yeah, the TV commercials for the KAOS, those were pretty cool, Henry. That's awesome. Yeah. The Johnny Metal beard. Yeah, maybe Johnny's going to inspire us to. Grant, you're going to have to. And Tim.
I'm not going to grow a beard. I can, but I'm not.
Jamie's got it. He's got
Jamie's got it
going on there at least. So, right.
All right. Who's next?
I have a very small.
I'm going to go with Tim Derling, ladies and gentlemen. He's up next.
Yeah, I don't know what order these are going to be in, so it's up to Grant. I don't have any props, so I've got like 2 props tonight. Whatever Grant comes up with.
I'm going to go with your number 10.
Okay. So this doesn't have a cover per se, but I had to bring this up. This is anybody that worked in radio in the early 90s, which is when I started. These are sampler discs that were released by the record labels. And this is a WIA Canada one from, I think, October or November 1990. And this one is significant. To be quite honest with you, I don't know what happened to mine. I had this. It's one that I took home with me because they were giving a bunch of them away. They were
you're in the business, and by the business, I do mean the industry. So
sure. But what's significant about this is this actually has, I believe it's the last track on it, Tesla signs, but it's radio friendly. So it's blocking up the scenery, not the other one. But just to give you an idea, it also has Metallica Stone Cold Crazy, which was only on Rubaiyat at the time. It wasn't easy to find. So just to give you an idea, this was whatever, October 1990. I got it here in front of me. And just to give you an idea, this was all Warner, Elektra, Atlantic artists, whatever they had new out. So I'm just going to read the artists that were on this. Crash Vegas, which was a Canadian band.
Crash
ZZ
Vegas
Top.
Was great.
There's a Blue Rodeo connection there, I think. ZZ Top, Jimmy Barnes, Faster Pussycat, You're So Vain, again from the Rubaiyat, Metallica, Faith No More, Nilsson, Paul Simon, the Rembrandts, Ray Charles, Toy Matinee, Billy Hill, Michael Feinstein, Linda William, Les Portemanteaux, and Tesla. So, and because it's a Canadian compilation, it's got the M8, it's got it indicated that you can play this and it counts as CanCon because it's a Canadian written song. So I had to show a couple of these off.
Sweet.
There you go. Cool. All right. Next. Okay, there you go. There's your next one.
Okay, I actually have this one. This is New Wave of British Heavy Metal 79 Revisited. I came across this in a pawn shop, completely was not looking for it, about 98. Originally it came in one of those, the big CD cases. I put it into a slim case. This came out in 1990. It was compiled by Lars Ulrich and Jeff Barton. And this has Diamond Head, Savage, Saxon, White Spirit, Raven, Parallax, very early version of Def Leppard, Get Your Rocks Off, Weapon, Samson, Hollow Ground. Martin mentioned them. Girl School, Witchfind, very early version of Iron Maiden, Sanctuary, Jaguar, Tigers of Pantang, Gaskin, Sledgehammer, Venom, Angel Witch, Trespass, One of These Days. Great song. Fantastic song. Holocaust, Vardis, Blitzkrieg, Diamond Head, again. Also Dragster, A to Z, Witchfinder General, Black Axe, Fist, Praying Mantis. And so at the time, I was trying to track down as many original versions of the songs that Metallica did on Garage Inc. And this one had Diamond Head. It's electric. Blitzkrieg. I think that's it. There were other bands on here, but that Metallica covered, but they weren't the very songs. But it's a pretty cool compilation. I'm glad I picked this up.
There you go.
Nice.
All right. Your next one. Here you go. Metal Giants.
All right. Yeah, this is another CD I had. It's called Metal Giants. I like the cover to this. Not all of these have great covers, but I kind of like the cover to this. Columbia CBS put this out in 1988. I found it used, and I bought it because it had Whitford St. Holmes' Whiskey Woman on it, which at the time I didn't have the Whitford St. Holmes album. I only had Sharpshooter from Pandora's Box, so I bought it. It's a pretty good compilation. It's got Fastway, Heaven, Joe Perry Project, Blue Oyster Cult, Judas Priest. It's got Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. They're all CBS artists, right? Tommy Bolin, Shake the Devil. It's a pretty good comp, and I do like the cover. I don't know what it reminds me of, but it reminds me of, is it Tron I'm thinking of? I don't know.
It looks like Tron to me.
Yeah. So that's my first three.
All right.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Nice.
All right. So since Peter Kerr wasn't here, I'm gonna take over and do his list. So let me scroll down. Let me see. What are we looking at first? Okay, here we go. Oh God, this is so great because the first pick that he picked. Now, this young lady that we're going to show, didn't her parents tell her not to leave the house without any underwear? We're going to go with, and this, I did not choose this because I'm very pure and innocent, but Where is her underwear, for God's sakes? Ripper, Various Artists, came out in 1975. Peter says the best songs on this record are Skyhook's Horror Movie. The worst song is Donnie Marie, Morning Side of the Mountain. I've never heard this comp, but I think you could never release this comp now today.
I didn't think you could wear Daisy Duke's Commando, though.
Well, 1975 you could.
Probably.
So I am sorry if this offended anybody. Blame Peter Kerr. I am just merely the messenger.
Yeah. Work meeting, right?
And everybody, this one's not much better. Chock-O Block, Various Artists, came out in 1978, of course. Australian comp. Best song that Peter says is on here is Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Fanfare for the Common Man, which don't you think that's really bizarre that that's on here? And the worst song is Leif Garrett, Surfing USA. Now, I am not judging Leif, but I do really think that Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Fanfare for the Common Man, does seem odd, doesn't it? All right.
Gee, my buddy Monty Connor would have loved that one because he does those Facebook posts of these album cover theme things, and he just put the one up about the chocolate, right? So you've got the sweet with the Hershey's look, and then you've got the Chicago album cover with the chocolate. This one would have gone with that. So,
yeah.
You know what, Bob? There's something that bothers me about the way this is laid out. You've got Chock-O Block. You get kind of partial eyeball from her.
Yeah.
What a weird cover.
Yeah.
I'm blaming Peter Kerr. All right, my next one. Look at these weird covers in Australia. We're talking. Number 3 was Bacon and Eggs. The album came out in 1979. Of course, this is an Australian release. Best song was Al Stewart, Song on the Radio. I don't have a problem with that. The worst song is Air Supply, Lost in Love, and I think that's a great song. I don't know what's wrong with Peter Kerr, but he's also not here to back himself up.
You guys remember one called Southern Fried Rock that looked something like that, had bacon and eggs on the cover. It was
that might show up today.
Johnny Metal. This reminds me of Sunny Side Up by the Main Street Singers as well.
Yes.
But what is going on? But what's going on with these Australian comps and their album covers?
Yeah, funny.
So bizarre. Anyway, we miss you, Peter Kerr, but we will go on. All right, Mr. Ladano, you are or Martin. Do we want to look at comments?
Yeah, I'll take a quick look here. There's lots of us, and we got to move it along, I suppose. So we'll go a little quicker. But we've got Masters of Metal was a 1984 metal compilation. Says Troy B with World of Fantasy Triumph, Crocus Screaming in the Night, Zebra Who's Behind the Door. Very cool. Never would have heard some of them if I didn't buy that. Awesome, Troy. The Big Balls 2 LP was a favorite. Says Chrome Destiny. What else we got? Bam Explosion Comps, 1975, before Razors was invented. Boy, another one remembers K-Tel 80. Jamie, it had 2 Pat Benatar songs. There you go. Do you have that one, Jamie?
I don't have that.
Of course he does. We're going to go back to the retro real quick.
All right. Nick Ladano.
We're going to go to Ladano, but I have to. Bernie said must be wearing a thong.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think thongs existed in 1975. But Bernie, I'm going to give you a gold star for thinking ahead.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ladano, let's start out with you. Go ahead.
How do you follow that? Tim and I
impossible.
Tim and I picked one album that we had in common, so I'll just point out a couple of things that Tim didn't. If you look really closely at the center photograph there, that is Iron Maiden, and you can see Eddie the Head when he was literally just a head. Nice. And the photograph beneath that is Thunderstick, who was in Samson at the time, but was also in Iron Maiden. Here's an early picture of Def Leppard. You can see Joe Elliott is levitating. You know what? There's some great stuff on here that Tim didn't mention. Vice Versa by Samson is an absolutely killer track. I really like SS Gyro by Fist. And that version of Sanctuary, we covered that on 50 Years of Iron Maiden recently. And it has one of my favorite guitar solos by Tony Parsons. He was only in the band for 3 months, but the version of Sanctuary that's on this, it's got one of my favorite guitar solos.
And that's Alan Parsons' brother, too.
I think you're pulling my leg.
There's 2 covers to this, too, by the way. This is what I found out. There's one that's got more of Thunderstick's well, not face, but the more the mask exposed.
More of his
not
mask,
actually
yes.
Wait a
band
minute.
pictures.
You gonna bring that up, Tim? Throw it up.
But no, I don't have it, but I'm just saying there are two different covers for this.
I think when I had a version that it showed his face more than the mask more than the other picture.
The interesting thing is that this is on Vertigo Polygram, but if you bought it in the States, it was on Caroline. So maybe that was the difference.
I actually remembered it being on Metal Blade.
Oh, well,
Mine
I
is
think
on
Caroline and Metal Blade were associated.
Maybe.
So, yeah.
I wish I could put everybody up in one screen so you could all fight it out.
Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
All right, Mike, go. What's your next one?
Okay, this one's on Metal Blade, and this is a freaking killer instrumental album. The guitars that rule the world. Now, ironically, that's Chris Cornell on the front cover, but Chris Cornell is not on this album. This has a lot of big namers. And they were basically told by the label, we want you to go in, we want you to record something that's 100% you, not to do with your band at all. So we got Reb Beach from Winger, Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi, Yngwie J. Malmsteen, Paul Gilbert, Elliot Easton, Zach Wilde, Nuno Betancourt, Alex Skolnick, Richie Kotzen, Albert Collins, Dickie Betts and Warren Hayes, Reeves Gabrels, and Earl Slick. This is killer. And the Zach Wilde track on here, Farm Fiddlin', it's like 8 minutes long of him doing his thing. Awesome is a word. And the Nuno Betancourt track on here is actually a second half to Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee from Extreme 2 Pornograffiti. It's called Bumblebee Crash Landing. And if you weld them together, as I did in Audacity, they sound freaking cool together. Nice. And my final pick for this first round is the one that you were asking about in the chat, if you had the right cover. Yes. Yeah. So this is Pine Ridge. And if you look carefully, you can see the eagle and a smoking gun. This was put together by Greg Keeler of Blue Rodeo, a band that was mentioned earlier in regards to Crash Vegas. Sarah McLachlan, Jane Siberry, the Tragically Hip. There's so many on here. Ashley McIsaac. There's 3 members of Blue Rodeo that have solo tracks on here. But the reason I picked this one is the title track, Pine Ridge by Greg Keeler. If there was such a thing as progressive country music, I think that would be it. It's like an 8-minute epic with different moods. Very sort of, I don't know, like to me, it's not too far distinguished from rock. But the album is about Leonard Peltier, who was convicted of murder, killing 2 FBI agents, and he always maintained his innocence, that he wasn't the one that pulled the trigger. And that's what Pine Ridge is about. Very, very cool compilation album. And if you're a Blue Rodeo fan, that Greg Keeler song is essential to any collection. And that's my 3.
All right, cool. All right, let's throw it over to Mr. Laszlo. What you got?
All right. I would say I got 2 iconic comps on my list. First one I would say is iconic to a certain generation. Do you remember this guy?
Wait a minute. Let me make you big. Go ahead.
Like
some damn dirty hippie to me.
When he was hanging out with his buddy. It was a commercial you always saw after school for Freedom Rock. Is that Freedom Rock, man? Well, turn it up. So there's my original CD that I actually ordered through the mail in 1987. And then a few years ago, I found it on vinyl used at Used Kids. And I said, you know what? I'm going to buy it on vinyl. And what was funny is they had a sticker on it that they made at the record store that said, as seen on TV. I thought that was kind of funny.
Nice.
What's weird about that album is they got British bands on here. You know, like Deep Purple's on here. And they got Cream on here. Like in Jethro Tull, like really?
Must be more about the era.
Yeah,
but that Freedom Rock, what year is that? 87,
87 it came
87. What the hell?
All right, and my next one. Well, I have my. I used to keep track of all the cassettes I bought in order, and then I started CDs, and this is all dating. The first page is from 1982, and I still have it. And I still add to it this day. I'm a little backed up and I need to start writing. But the very first, I'm not counting the Kiss records I had in the 70s because they were kind of superheroes to me. And I really wasn't all in on popular music. I got all in a little late in 1982. And the first album that I bought, I used to buy cassettes back then, was The Hit List.
Oh, yeah.
And this had Promises in the Dark on it by Pat Benatar. And that was the first Pat Benatar related thing I owned right there. And that song, Promises in the Dark, I knew of before I bought this. changed my life. When I heard that, opened the door. The clouds separated, and I walked through. So yeah, the hit list.
Right.
And this one, I have a vinyl copy, and I have my original cassette. We were in Fisher's Big Wheel outside of Elwood City, PA, and it was 1984, I believe. And I told my mom, maybe 1983, 84. And I told my mom, will you buy this for me? Masters of Metal from KTEL. I said, these songs, and I'm 14, 13, maybe 14. And I said, these are the kind of songs I'll never be tired of. And there's the original cassette that I still have from Fisher's Big Wheel back in 1984. It's all beat up and it doesn't play anymore. But you know what? I said I would never get tired of these songs, and I was kind of right. Here we are, 45 years later. I'm not sick of Rainbow in the Dark and Who's Behind the Door and Breaking the Chains and Mean Streak and Lick It Up and Trashed and World of Fantasy and all that stuff. I'm not tired of anything on here.
Sweet.
There you go.
Good job.
I want to mention real quick, Hack is in the audience. Guitar Hack, nice to see you tonight.
Yeah.
And this is a shameless plug. So in the warehouse on Sunday, Hack will be with me for 2 hours we're playing 2 hours of Kiss. I swear
Oh my
to God.
goodness.
Sweet.
Sunday, 8:00 Eastern time. Hack and I'll be hanging out.
All right. Just a quick look over here. John Patterson's mentioned KTEL is my favorite music compilation records company from 69 to 75, but I do recall Ronco Records made a few LPs as well. And someone asked here who picks the tracks for these. I mean, I think it's basically what the label wants to push kind of thing. It also has to do with buying them, how cheaply you can get them on, if you even have to pay at all. I'm sure it's one of those weird business situations where two business guys in the record business look at each other and say, who pays who to be on this thing? You know? Okay, so my next three also have a theme. I'm going to start with the Streets comp, Beggar's Banquet 77. And I'm really bummed out, but I can't find my vinyl of this or my second one, and they're my two favorite comps. I don't know where it is. That's the funny thing about comps is they get filed in strange places depending on how you've got your records sorted out. But the cool thing about this comp is that it's a very early punk comp, so it is from 77. And just like my new Electric Warriors, these bands, most of this stuff never showed up on albums. You've got the Doll, the Members, the Lurkers. Okay, they all had albums. Arthur's Comic, Art Attacks, the Dogs, the Reaction, Kane, Slaughter and the Dogs. Slaughter and the Dogs never had a proper album until they became Slaughter. That's going to feature in my next one as well. The Nosebleeds, the Drones, the Zeros, Pork Dukes, the Exile Drive, John Cooper Clarke Tractor. So yeah, a lot of really cool, rare stuff. That artwork is by a guy named Savage Pencil, and I thought maybe it was the same guy who did the artwork in the Clash Sandinista thing. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I thought it was the same guy, but I just looked him up here. His name's Savage Pencil, and that doesn't ring a bell. So that's my first one. Second one, same theme. The Roxy London WC2. January to April 77. So this is a very early comp. This one doesn't have a great album cover, but this is what it looked like live at the Roxy there. And I bought this. This is Harvest 1977. This might be the second punk album I ever owned. I might have got this even before I had an album by an actual band, which would probably have been the Clash debut. But I had the French New Wave comp first and then this. And this is all live. And you've got Slaughter and the Dogs on here who sound really cool and heavy. You've got the Adverts on here. Johnny Moped. Eater sounds great on here. You've got X-Ray Specs. The Buzzcocks are on here with 2 tracks. Wire with 2 tracks. So really cool. The Unwanted. Really, really good obscure punk comp there. And yeah, I hope I still can find my vinyl because I think I have these both on vinyl. They're both UK. And my last one is Live at the Rat. This has the best album cover of all of them, but it's a crap album because this is a 1976 album on Rat Records, and it doesn't even say Live at the Rat. It just says Live at, and then you've got a rat. But it's a double comp from the Boston scene. This is what the inside looks like. And given that it's Boston and it's 1976, it's really pre-punk, but there's some great stuff. And DMZ is on here. Nobody talks about that album anymore, but Thunder Train is on here with Mock Bell, who showed up in the Joe Perry project. But you've also got the Real Kids. There's some, they're kind of legendary. Third Rail is kind of known. Willie Loco Alexander, Susan, Mark Thor, Sass, the Inflictors, and the Boys. And like I say, it's not that heavy, it's not that cool, it's not that punky, but it's kind of a proto-punk thing. So there you go. That's my next three, also a theme.
All right, cool. All right. Well, Johnny Metal,
right?
You
right. Well, here again, I'm not really gonna go metal here. And again, these are more favorite compilations, more so than like the particular cover. So my next one is going to be a box set compilation that came out of the famed studios up in the Muscle Shoals area of Alabama, which is up in Northwest Alabama. Very well-known studios, 2 studios up there. Famed is one of them. This is the one that they did called 1961 to 1963. You get a Johnny Pop. Sorry, Marlon.
Marlon's giving you crap, Johnny.
I see that. So it comes a nice little booklet here. You get lots of nice pages here. You get some, pictures of some of the singles look like. But there's too many artists here to list off here. But there's a lot of unknown stuff from that time period. But there's a lot of really good music on this thing. Really, really good. Now my next one. Now this one's really going to take it back a little bit. This was a project that I believe a record company in, England was actually starting to put together. And they were trying to digitize old 78s from the jukebox days, from where you would be in like the old juke joints. And they put out it would be a 5 CD because you got a bonus one, but you get this thing here called Mississippi Juke Joint Blues. This is with this extra CD, 5 CDs of essentially just digitally, lovingly remastered, as they put it, but just anything and everything that was on a 78 back in jukeboxes in those old days. And gosh, this more blues, maybe big band and early, the early 40s kind of stuff. So it's maybe not exactly what you would expect somebody like me maybe to get into, but I love a lot of that old style music, Delta blues and old big band music. So that's kind of something I really dig. So I enjoy that. My last pick for this go around, bringing us back up into the mid 90s. We got to pay some tributes here for our Saturday mornings and all the characters we may have either had a crush on or we just love those cartoons. Saturday morning cartoons greatest hits.
Yep.
What do we got here? We got Liz Phair with Material Issue doing the Banana Splits song. You got Sponge doing Go Speed Racer Go. You got Mary Lou Lord and Semisonic doing Sugar Sugar. Matthew Sweet for when you did the Matthew Sweet series for you and Todd. Scooby-Doo, where are you? I'll go down I won't list everything here. How about Helmet doing Gigantor for all you Japanime people out there? Let's see, Ramones doing Spider-Man. Saw them do that on the last tour. This is a great CD of the mid 90s alternative bands and stuff like that. Absolutely. And I knew just about every song on this thing because I grew up with all this as a kid, except for Gigantor. Gigantor is the only one I wasn't familiar with at the time, but fantastic.
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, that was 3.
That was 3.
Let's see. We got Elder Vroxing. I remember getting at Ozfest 2005, getting a comp CD of all the bands they were handing out as we left. That's pretty cool. The Harvest Records compilation had the demo of Pink Floyd's Embryo. Wow. Time Life's Guitar Rock, pretty good series. 60s volumes are like a harder rocking counterparts to Nuggets. That's pretty cool. Poptopia, power pop classics of the 70s. Also for the 80s and 90s. Excellent. Sub Pop 200. Yeah, that's a really important one because that's considered, I think that is the one. There's 2 different ones. Is it Deep Six? The Cruise Records? Anyways, there's a couple of comps that are considered the start of the whole grunge scene, right? And Sub Pop 200, I think, is one of them, as Rodrigo eloquently mentions here.
There's those Ozfest ones.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute,
Nice.
hold on. Show. All right, let's see. Oh, cool. Very nice.
Excellent. Cool. All right, let's move on to Tim, I think, right?
Yep, Tim's up.
Let's see what Grant's got for me.
Oh, yes. Hold on. Let me scroll. We left off with
The new wave of
Metal
British heavy metal.
Giants. All right.
Metal Giants.
All right.
All right. Yes.
Hot.
White Hot and All Out Metal Assault featuring Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. In and Out of Love is on this. This is a great compilation. It's got Y&T, Don't Stop Running, Kiss, Heaven's on Fire. It's got Lee Aaron, Metal Queen, Kick-Axe, Heavy Metal Shuffle, Autograph, Turn Up the Radio. I had this on cassette at one time, but I think it's kind of a cool cover too. But another thing I want to mention is that this is, I think Polytel put this out, but you will notice that sometimes, like KTEL will put out a compilation, and if you get it in Canada, it's a slightly different track listing than the States, because there'll be more Canadian stuff on the Canadian one. Just a little minor thing here, because I think if you get this in the States, it doesn't have, it doesn't have like the Lee Aaron or it doesn't have quite as much Canadian stuff on it. But this is I think this is still a really enjoyable, like 12-song compilation.
Sweet.
Super. Awesome. All right. Oh, sorry. My cue.
This is Rock. Okay. I used to have this on cassette. This came out in late 85. Rock is a bit of a misnomer. I think when I bought this, I got it because it had Go for a Soda and Follow Your Heart on it. But it's got Dire Straits, Hall & Oates, Payolas, Kim Mitchell, Platinum Blonde, Triumph, Kinks Do It Again, love that song. Supertramp, Cannonball, I love that song too. Tears for Fears, John Cafferty, Bryan Adams, Survivor, Belinda Metz, Alan Parsons Project, Steve Perry, and Pat Benatar. And I think this was another Polytel compilation. So it's kind of a cool cover. It makes it look a lot heavier than it is.
Did they have Polytel here in the States?
I think Polytel and KTEL were related, but Polytel was a division of Polygram.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Because I don't remember this record at all, but that doesn't matter.
If you bought The Greatest Kiss that came out in 97 in Canada, it's on Polytel.
Right.
Neat.
Guitar Hack is a big Wiggles fan. I just wanted to throw that out.
Nice.
Wiggles. My kids watched the Wiggles when they were little. Yeah. Flashbacks.
All right. So your next. All right. That was 2, right? All right.
Yep.
Your next one. We're going to go with. There you go. There's your.
Okay. So I actually don't know any of the songs off this. I know a buddy of mine picked this up used. This is called Moose Molten Metal, Volume 1. This came out in Canada on Capitol Records in 1985, and it has the only band that I think put out any amount of albums on here is Fist, and I'm talking about the Canadian Fist.
Yeah.
No?
No,
no.
I'm talking to.
He's answering the chat.
The Thunder and
okay.
Rock,
Okay.
Thunder and Rock Fist, as opposed to the SS Gyro Fist.
Right, and in the UK, I think their albums were released under the name Mile Fist, which is kind of weird. But it's got Dagger, DDT, Sadwinder, Witch Killer. That sounds familiar. Stormbringer, Galleon, Heaven Knocks, Tsar, TZAR, and Creepy Family. Now, so I don't know anything on this. I think it's kind of a cool cover, but related to this, and one that's going to set you back more money if you find it, is one called Maple Metal, which is the same kind of idea. It's unsung, unsigned Canadian bands, came out around the same time. But the reason it goes for big bucks is it has a song on it by a band called Kid Wicked, which is Sebastian Bach's early band. So that's not this one. I picked this one for the cover. I don't even know any of the songs on it, I'll be honest.
Well, Guitar Hack says there's nothing that says Canadian metal like Moose. So
Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right. There you go. Awesome.
All right, cool. Over to Grant.
All right. So, well, it's really not me. It's Peter Kerr.
Peter.
All right. Let me scroll up. There's a little bit of a delay since I have to scroll so far. Okay. My number, I guess, would be my number 4, right? We already talked about Bacon and Eggs,
Yep.
Choco Block, and Ripper. All right, number 4, we're going to go with Speed Kills. The very best of Smee Metal came out in 1985 on Music for Nations. According to Peter Kerr, the best song on here is Destruction, Bestial Invasion, which doesn't sound very Christian oriented. The worst song is Bulldozer, Insurrection of the Living Damned. Another very non-Christian sounding song.
Peter and I and one of his and Peter Wicks, I think, did a show on this album. Gosh, almost a year ago or so. I can't even remember. But we did a show on this album. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I was actually able to find a copy.
Wow. All right, cool. All right, so that was not number 4. Number 5, we're going to go with this beautiful cover, Metal Madness, 1985. According to Mr. Kerr, the best song on here is Motorhead, Killed by Death. A lot of good Christian songs on here. Worst song is Treat, Throw a Party. I've never heard that track.
Swedish.
Oh, the damn Swedes. All right, so that would be number 5. Number 6, look at this cover. Metal Massacre, 1982 on... Oh.
Ooh.
I just had an extra copy. No, I don't. This is an original. This is a 40th anniversary repress.
So this came out in 1982 on Metal Blade. Best song, Rat, Tell the World. I'm gonna agree with that. Worst song, Malice, Kick You Down.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that, but then don't forget there's this other weird little band on this thing.
Hold on.
Metallica with. Don't forget about Metallica with 2 L's here. Hit the Lights, some little known band. I don't know.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of those guys, but yeah.
It's a different lineup too, isn't it?
This has
this
Lloyd Grant.
McGovney and Mustaine on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have that on CD, but it's missing the Rat track. I think it's only like 7 tracks on CD.
I think this repress, collected all the songs that were on the different pressings.
Can I ask you a question though? Because I don't know, and I really do like Rat quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That particular track, was that on the Rat EP or was it not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it probably not the same version, was it?
No.
Was it the same version?
I don't think it's the same version because it lists Matt Thorne on bass and Kurt Mayer on drums.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll ever, does anybody know? I know I'm on a tangent. Give me a minute. Did that come out on any other comp or was that ever released? Never.
I think there was like maybe a Mickey Rat single or something like that, but that's probably about it.
So that kind of makes this comp really something you may want.
It's not available on every pressing though.
The other important thing about this comp is in a way, I mean, Brian Slagle, he's working at Oz Records at this point. It's the first thing Metal Massacre's putting out. There's going to be another Metal Massacre. This almost kicks off the entire LA metal scene in a way, right? In a modest way. I mean, there's an excitement because you've got all these different bands on here. So it kicks off. If you think of what's on there, you've got the birth of thrash, you've got the birth of meat and potatoes metal, and you've got the birth of hair metal all in one place.
Yeah.
And
a lot of these bands ended up on major lists too.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, everybody. You may want to check this out because this does sound like a groundbreaking comp. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
So, all right. Cool.
All right. Over to Michael Adano.
All right, Michael.
All right. Well, this is one that came up early in the comments, and this is the first compilation that I ever bought on CD. And it was put together by Doc McGee, the manager at the time of Motley Crue and Bon Jovi, although not Motley Crue for much longer. This was put together after Doc, I believe, was convicted of maybe smuggling some drugs, and he had to do some community service in order to make up for his crimes, and doing this Moscow Music Peace Festival in Russia and doing this compilation album and donating all the proceeds to, drug addiction and whatnot. That was part of it. But there's some great stuff on here. Ozzy Osbourne does Purple Haze, and it's, I think, the only studio recording of the lineup of Ozzy Osbourne, Zakk Wylde, Geezer Butler, and Randy Castillo. I think it's the only studio recording of that lineup. Motley Crue do an absolutely awesome version of Tommy Bolin's Teaser. Bon Jovi do The Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy. And then there's some kind of silly jams at the end, doing like Hound Dog and Blue Suede Shoes and Led Zeppelin.
But also the gimmick behind that too was like all the artists covered died from drug or alcohol abuse, even the songs they did in the medleys, which is kind of interesting.
And I think there's one track that might still be exclusive to this, which is Skid Row's "Holidays in the Sun," but I might be wrong.
That's
Either way,
I have that on a UK B side of the Wasted Time single.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, it's not on any Skid Row compilations.
Yeah, they don't really promote that too much. Right. And then my second and third is kind of a twofer. Martin will remember Meat Magazine, metal events around Toronto, put out by a guy by the name of Drew Masters, very, very passionate metal fan and publisher. Great magazine. And then he said, I want to do more for the bands of Canada. I want to put a CD out. And so he got together some of the best independent artists in the rock scene at the time and put out Raw Meat Volume 1. And to this day, I love just about every track on this album. Slash Puppet were kind of the headline band on this thing. They were a band that were out of Toronto. They were predicted to be the next big thing. We also have Antics out of Ottawa, who had a few albums and EPs and things out. There was a band called Russian Blue, who were absolutely fantastic. The track Once a Madman on this CD is absolutely incredible. And then we have a band called Wildside featuring a classical guitar player named Johan Lindstedt, who I guarantee you people who know classical guitar know who Johan Lindstedt is. Well, there he is on Raw Meat Volume 1. There was a Raw Meat Volume 2 that focused on thrash, but I actually, unfortunately, don't have that one. It had very early recordings by Varga, but I did jump ahead to Raw Meat Volume 3, and this one had some more Russian Blue, had some more Slash Puppet, I believe, too. Anyway, the cool thing about this one is you guys might know a contrarian by the name of Marco Doria. Well, his uncle
Never heard
Ray,
of him.
No, you haven't heard of him? Well, he's a really cool guy. And he has an uncle named Ray Doria who was in this band called Mystique. Well, I actually first heard Ray Doria way back in 1993 in a band called Slam Glory, Say It Like You Mean It. And they actually have a CD out now, a reissue of Slam Glory's Say It Like You Mean It full-length CD that you can buy.
Well,
nice. And this band, Just Insane in Illusion. Wow, what a song. Really, really, I don't know, maybe even progressive alternative metal. Really good stuff. So that's my second set of 3.
All right, cool.
Nice. Yeah, there was a mention in the comments about the whole Big Shiny Tunes phenomenon here in Canada for Much Music, and there it is. Yeah, 1.2 million copies just in Canada. Diamond sales. That's one CD sold for every 24 Canadians. That was pretty crazy. That whole, I think it was a series of those. But
Much Music put those out.
Yeah, Jabberjaw, Hollywood Rocks, great compilation box set of 80s LA hair metal. All right, over to Jamie.
All right, it's 10-8, and I'm only doing my second turn, so I'll try to be fast.
I know we're going long.
Yeah, we'll go a little faster.
This is my box set of Nuggets. This came out 2 years ago. This is my other iconic one. This came out 2 years ago. This version for Record Store Day. It comes with a big poster that looks like that. Comes with 5 records. It comes with Volume 1, Volume 2, and something called Duggets. But I'm sure most people know what Nuggets is all about. This is a really cool version. And it comes with a 16-page book, too. All that goody stuff right there.
Nice.
My next one, this is a record I always saw on the inner sleeve that you can order. I think you could order through the mail, but I never saw one live. And then I went through a dollar bin, and there it was. I'm like, I'm never going to listen to this. But because I saw it since I was a kid, I just wanted it in my collection because how many times have you pulled out a record and you've seen an ad for that thing? Supergroup?
Never.
And you try to go, who are these people?
Oh. Huh.
You guys are all looking at me like you've never seen
it.
No.
I've never seen it, but there are a lot of beards.
Yeah.
Dude in the front
it
looks
didn't
like
take me long to find the inner sleeve that had this ad in it. But I'm not going to look for it. I thought all you guys would be like, "Oh, I remember that." And then
the dude in the white shirt looks like Ray Dorsey from Mungo Jerry.
We're running long. Got no time.
I think that's Leon Russell on there too.
Yeah, I think so too. Is that Michael McDonald on the top left?
Yeah. God, we'll figure it out. If you know who's on here, please leave a comment down below.
Billy D. Williams with a guitar there on the top.
Might be Tom
Billy
Jones
D.
there.
That's
Might-
probably
Tom. Oh, Peter Jones says Tom Jones is in there somewhere. Yeah.
that's the guy from Radio. Oh God.
Oh,
help
Ray
me.
Parker Jr.
Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah.
Come on, that's Ray Parker Jr.
Seals and Croft is in there.
William Walker. Finally, we waited for you to get here. We got to keep going. All right,
Nice. Go, Jamie.
go, Jamie.
All right.
Keep going.
1986, I bought this on cassette at Kmart. I got the CD now. That is Electric 70s. And on this particular
70s.
one, comp, it's the first time I ever heard We're an American Band by Grand Funk. I swear to God, I never heard it on the radio until like the late 80s, early 90s. I don't know. I was paying attention, so I don't know. It just kind of appeared one day and then it wouldn't go away from the radio. But that's the first time. But it's got like
I don't have that. I don't know what you're holding up.
Smoking in the dude's room. It's got all the young dudes and smoking in the boys' room. It's the first time I ever heard the original Smoking in the Boys' Room too. Was on this.
Yeah, I don't have that graphic. So, all right.
Uh-oh.
All right, cool. We could show Marlo Thomas if you want.
We're getting to that. Maybe.
All right, Martin.
Okay, my last four, kind of a grab bag here. We're going to start with the South's Greatest Hits, Capricorn, 1977. There you go. It's just a good album cover. I picked it, to be faithful to our show. So it's just a dude sitting out there in the South. The Allman Brothers, Greg Allman, Amazing Rhythm Aces, Atlanta Rhythm Section, Elvin Bishop, etc. And then I thought, just for kicks, we've got straight Southern rock. There you go. Marshall Tucker Band, Bonnie Bramlett, Grinder Switch. So that's also Capricorn, but this is a UK import. Is it UK or is it German? No, it's UK. And then I thought we got Southern rock here as well. But my second choice, official choice, is The Rock Machine Turns You On, CBS 1968. So that is a shiny UK. It's CBS Records, not Columbia. So this is a UK comp from long time ago. And you've got Bob Dylan, Moby Grape, Spirit, United States of America, Zombies, Peanut Butter Conspiracy, Leonard Cohen, Blood, Sweat and Tears, Birds, Simon and Garfunkel, Taj Mahal, Electric Flag, Roy Harper, Tim Rose, and Elmer Gantry's Velvet Opera. Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, that's cool.
So there's that one, and then next I've got Gold Medal, Warner Brothers 80. This is a promo. Got Bugs Bunny on the cover there, and then this has just the really bare. Look at that back cover, right? And then the inside, I've got a bunch of these, but also they just keep it really simple. There you go. But it's kind of cool because it's got the Pretenders on it. Eh? It's got the Dukes, Christopher Cross, Pearl Harbor and the Explosions, the Undertones, pretty cool. Two Pretenders songs, Utopia, Roger Voudouris, and Jess Roden. And then my last one is a comp I really love. This I just love the music on this. It's the Electric Muse, the story of folk into rock. This is Island, 1975, and this is a vinyl box set. So you've got all the insides are even cooler album covers. You've got stuff like this. They all just kind of look like this, right? And just like, eight or so, 9 songs. It's just kind of like the UK folk boom kind of thing, but really neat, cool obscurities all over this thing. So, and then you've got, what is this here? Yeah, got a big booklet that comes with it as well. So that's my final 4.
All right, cool.
Over to
Johnny Metal.
Johnny.
Okay.
Mr.
All
Metal.
right. My number 4. So let's go across the pond to England. Let's visit a little place called the Cart and Horses. I believe I showed this one on Mike Lodano's 50 Years of Maiden show. This is a little thing here called Cart and Horses, the birthplace of Iron Maiden, Wasted Year 2020. So what this is basically you get a lot of folks in the Iron Maiden family tree who has been in the band prior to them going bigger, before they got signed, except for you do have Paul Di'Anno on it, but it's basically just a lot of the old musicians from that have been in the band, and they contributed to this CD where it was a kind of a fundraiser during the pandemic, and it was just a great way to keep the Cart and Horses thing going. So very cool. I think it might still be available. Check it out on Cart and Horses. Next one. little Nuclear Blast, Summer Blast 94. This has just a whole bunch of different stuff. Most of the bands I really wasn't into back in the mid 90s, but there was a song here called from a band called Mortification. So I've been doing this little thing called Mortification Monday, and they actually had a bonus track that was not on the album that it said it's featured on this thing. So go figure that out. But there's a bunch of other bands, Exit 13's on this, Amorphous, Betrayer, bands like that. So you have that. Now, I gave the graphic I gave for my next one. This I gave him volume 1, but really it was volume 2 that got me into this label. Best of Metal Blade. Let me show off. There's volume 2. This was actually the one that I really got into, and then there's even a volume 3, which actually is pretty cool. But as a teenager in the mid 80s, and I was looking for something different than just normal, the run of the mill heavy metal, and I knew Slayer was on Metal Blade, and I saw this, and I'm like, I've got to check this out. And man, I'll tell you what, I found all kinds of bands that I wound up really still liking to this day. Wonderful, wonderful albums. Tough to come by unless you find good cheap vinyls somewhere. My last one, Marlon, I'm sorry, it's not going to end at a complete heavy note. My last one is going to be this thing here called Streams. And this is this is basically a compilation of songs influenced by a devotional book called Streams in the Desert. This is a wonderful CD. My wife and I have been known to listen to this quite often. Michael McDonald is actually on this. He guests with a lady named Maury Brennan, and they do Don't Give Up from Peter Gabriel. They swap vocalists. Maury Brennan does the Peter vocal, and Michael McDonald does the Kate Bush vocal. John Anderson from Yes is on here with a band called For Him doing a song called The Only Thing I Need. It was kind of an interesting thing to hear John Anderson, who's known to be a Buddhist, I think, and not so much a Christian. But hey, whatever works, right? It's good stuff. Anyway, that takes care of me. On to Tim.
All right.
William Walker, I want to give a shout out to William Walker who gave us a dono. We much appreciate it. Thank you, William Walker. We love you. So yes, Tim Durling.
All right, hit me with something.
Oh, sorry.
Not a blunt object.
Hold on, I got to scroll. What was your last one? You did Molten Metal? No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We haven't done Electric North.
No, we haven't. Okay.
That's your
This is one of the first ones I thought of. This one is all Canadian stuff. This is a K-Tel from 1983, and I'll just read down the artists that are on it. Bryan Adams, Harlequin, Sheriff, Luba, Strange Advance, Streetheart, Aldo Nova, Rough Trade, Paolas, Chilliwack, Toronto, Headpins, Loverboy, Coney Hatch, April Wine, and some band called Rush. So I know some of our friends in the States are going to look at some of these artists and go, who? But these were all Canadian artists that had hits to some degree at some point. And this is kind of a cool collection of one out of Canada between like 82, 83, around that time period.
The cool thing there, I did a podcast episode called "Did Canada Invent Hair Metal?"
Oh yeah, there's a lot of examples on here.
It's all that pile of bands that Canada produced from sort of 79, 80, 81, 82 that started this proto hair metal thing in a huge way. 2, 3, 4 albums of stuff before hair metal even starts, and it's kind of in that Night Ranger, Sammy Hagar zone that you get right before the big year 1983. And Canada had a lot of big, accomplished, professional, well put together proto hair metal albums, and that's a good testimony to that. Yeah, Loverboys.
Yeah, and most of them, and most of these bands, at least in the branches in Canada, were on major labels too. So
yeah. Headpins, Toronto, Trooper, Prism, Loverboy, all that stuff. Coney Hatch.
Where would you put Nature of the Beast and
April Wine? Absolutely. Yeah. April Wine and Triumph from that era as well. 4 albums each, pretty much. Proto hair metal, right?
So April Wine's on here with Enough Is Enough, and Coney Hatch, Hey Operator. Aldo Nova Fantasy, of course, or Loverboy When It's Over. Like, yeah, it's a pretty good snapshot, and it's kind of a cool cover, you know. It's this flaming Ice Cube with headphones on, and yeah. But that's a.
All right, cool. All right. Sorry. Jesus. All right. Pure Rock.
Okay, here's another KTEL one. This is another one that if you get the U.S. edition, some of the songs are different, but this came out in 1981, and this is pretty good. I'll just read off the artists that are on it. Kansas, Aerosmith, Boston, Ted Nugent, Molly Hatchet, Toto, The Babies, Trooper, Steve Miller, Prism, April Wine, Cheap Trick, Eddie Money, Journey, Meatloaf, and again, this Rush group, whoever they are.
Never heard of.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Sound Express.
Okay, this one, another one of the first ones I thought of. This came out in 1980 on Ronco, which was sort of a KTEL type of label. Martin and Mike, did you guys have a chain of department stores called Stedman's, or was that just in Atlantic Canada?
Oh no, yeah, Stedman's absolutely. I bought a lot of my albums at Stedman's.
Yeah, we had a Stedman's in Woodstock, and my mother bought a greeting card, and for some reason she was, I don't know, the 100th customer that day. She won a record, and that's the record they gave her off the rack. So now this is an interesting example of, it's got songs that were singles, but they're like the second, third singles from an album, so they're not the big hits. So it's got Toto 99, Tom Johnston, Savannah Nights, Robert Palmer, Can We Still Be Friends, Hall & Oates, Wait for Me. It's got Steve Forbert, Romeo, Cheap Trick, Voices, The Kinks, I Wish I Could Fly Like Superman, Kool and the Gang, Ladies Night, Eddie Rabbit, Suspicions, Nicolette Larson, Lot of Love. And I just really remember this album cover. It's kind of cool. It's got Cheap Trick and the Dream Police outfit there. It's got a live shot of Toto, and I always just remembered like the speaker as the O in sound. So I definitely wanted to talk about that one.
Nice.
Al, I just wanted to make a point. I have all those Ultra Lounge comps, all the CD comps. They did release some of them that weren't on CD, and they were just digital downloads, but I've got all those Ultra Lounge ones. All right, wait. Sorry, Tim. Jeez.
I got one more.
One more. Go.
So, okay, this is another one of those comps that the labels would send to radio stations. This is an A&M one from May 1993. I actually have this CD, just what the back of the tray looked like. It didn't really have a front, but I'll give you an example of what was on this. Aaron Neville, Carole King, Rumble, Alexander O'Neill, Eddie Murphy, Apache Indian, Bobby Ross, Avila, The Cranberries, Warren Haynes, All Good, Extreme, Paw, Driving and Crying, Blues Traveler, and PJ Harvey. So I kept this one because it's got an edit of Extreme, Am I Ever Going to Change? It's got the shortened version of it.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Awesome. Damn.
That's the rest of mine.
All right. That's
On to Australia.
On to Australia, ladies and gentlemen. Here we
go.
So
God only knows.
We did Ripper already. I just want to make sure everyone saw that. We are up to now. Did we talk about Metal Madness yet? We did.
Yes.
We talked about this.
Yes.
Oh shit! I'm going the wrong way.
New.
The Ripper threw him right off.
Hold on. That's John.
Never turn your back on the Ripper, Grant.
Peter's next 4 picks are all Ripper.
We'll show the Ripper again. Slab of Rock. Various artists, of course. This was an album of pub rock sponsored by an Aussie brewery. Obviously, VB. I don't know VB.
Victoria Bitter.
It's not Foster, so I don't know anything else other than that. Victoria Bitter Beer. Best song on it, according to Peter Kerr, The Angels, Take a Long Line.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that means. Is that a
Great song.
Cocaine reference? I don't know. Worst song, Taxi Ride, Creeping Up Slowly. So there you go. The next one we've got, look at how psychedelic this is, ladies and gentlemen. Down Under Nuggets from 1965, 1967. Just like the famous Nuggets album, this is all Australian garage rock. And he says there's no bad songs on here. It's absolutely brilliant. So check that out if you haven't checked it out. Number 9, we are gonna go with Rocka. Dig this. This is also an Australian comp. This actually was on Albert. What was the
Yeah, Albert
AC/DC.
Albert Records? Yeah.
Yeah.
ACDC. Yeah.
So it's best song on here, according to Mr. Kerr, AC/DC, Long Way to the Top. Worst song, Little River Band, Every Day of My Life. Now, I don't know about that. I just did that Little River Band show on Sea of Tranquility. Come on, Mr. Kerr, calm down. There's no bad Little River Band. Maybe. All right, number 10. Another Albert Archives release, 1979. These are all Vanda Young tracks that they produced.
Wow.
So, Easy Beats, AC/DC, Stevie Wright, Ted Murley. No dud tracks on this one, so you may want to check that out if you're not familiar with it. So, there you go. That's what Mr. Kerr has. So,
Cool. All right, over to Mr. Ladano.
Mr. Ladano, you're up.
Okay, so before I go last, I just want to thank Johnny Metal for keeping watch over the Shire for the last few decades over the forces of darkness.
Well, that's not heavy. I don't know what is.
Well, he says Johnny Metal the Grey, so that's a Gandalf reference. Anyway, I broke my own rule. I said I wasn't going to do any tribute albums or any soundtracks, but I realized that this is a soundtrack. Dave Grohl did this compilation. Whole bunch of vocalists redoing songs that were originally done at Sound City Studios after Dave bought the mixing desk. Best track on here is Your Wife Is Calling with Leaving from Fear. This is a great CD, and I kind of dig that retro looking cover. You can see like a coffee stain on the copy that Grant's showing there. And my last 3 are all vinyl. Somebody in the comments mentioned Axe Attack. We have seen this before. Now, if you go to 50 Years of Iron Maiden, the very first episode, Harrison will tell you how to find a copy of Axe Attack that has the very, very rare running free demo by Iron Maiden that was included by mistake on the first pressing. I bought the wrong version, but you get Rainbow, Ian Gillan, Judas Priest, Ted Nugent, Scorpions, Girl School, UFO, AC/DC, Whitesnake, Iron Maiden, Aerosmith, Black Sabbath, Motorhead, and Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. Second time that they've appeared on a metal compilation tonight.
Nice.
Grant, this is one that you and I talked about on.
You thought Ripper was something. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. Playboy
Street Rock.
This is one that you and I talked about on the Warehouse because it has one of the very first Kick-Axe recordings, a live track called Reality is the Nightmare, and it is one of my absolute favorite Kick-Axe songs. The lead singer was, I believe, Charles McNary back then. This is pre-George Kristen, and as Tim said, she is holding the guitar as if she really knows how to
totally knows how to play the guitar.
He's really bending that note.
Yeah,
but
she's not even looking either.
Just a sample of some of the bands on
feeling
here.
The notes.
Yeah, we have bands called Champion 5, The Remedials, The Schoolboys, Snake Rock, and Tiger. Lots of big namers.
Snake Rock.
Just think about those band names and look at the cover. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you got to say. And then I guess my final pick is a double tribute to Jamie Laszlo because he already picked Volume 1.
Oh.
And he also picked an album that was his life changer. It redirected his life into music. And that's what this album did for me. It was Boxing Day, December 26, 1984.
I picked the wrong one.
Well, that's okay. I've got the right one.
There we go.
My best friend Bob came over to Boxing Day. We were playing with the new Christmas toys and Christmas music, and there was a song called Run to the Hills, and it was the song that changed my life. We have Iron Maiden, Helix, Triumph, Anvil, Accept, Urgent, Quiet Riot, Judas Priest, Rush, Lee Aaron, Coney Hatch, Fist, and Santers. We've seen a lot of those bands on compilations tonight on Tim's side of things. But that was my life changer, and from that point forward, I decided metal was my thing, and it's all because of Masters of Metal Volume 2.
And it's got Coney Hatch on there, too. So that's
Coney Hatch, again, Rush, Triumph. Yeah, there you go. Helix.
All right, that was your final one? All right, Jamie, you're up. Let's do it.
All right. This one is a comp with heavy metal on it, but it's a little bit different because everything is live. On Live and Heavy.
Oh, yeah, I've
Look
seen
at that cover.
From 1981. You gotta love the cover. All these live tracks by Deep Purple and Whitesnake and UFO. Def Leppard Rocks Off. I don't know what that would be from, but I'm guessing all these other ones are from Black Sabbath Paranoid. I don't know what track. I don't know where they got these tracks from. Is what I'm trying to say.
Doesn't that album,
some of them not?
this
Rocks
album
Off is
cover,
live on Through the Night album, so I don't know.
doesn't this album cover look like something else though? Yeah, or
Looks
am
like
I
his
just
eyes are bleeding.
imagining it?
Something
It
else.
just reminds me of
Music
something
related?
else.
What do you mean?
Music album. It's like
I
a
don't know
takeoff
which
of
one.
something else. I don't know.
I don't know. UFO, Strangers in the Night.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Maybe. I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Blackout.
Another heavy rock
Maybe.
one. Frankenstein and Other Rock Monsters. But I bought this real cheap over the last couple of years. It's so faded. It got Quiet Riot. Edgar Winter, of course. Saxon's on here with The Power and the Glory. Rock and Roll. Hoo-chie-coo. Tommy Bolin and Teaser. So,
That one looks like the Damned Evil Spirits album cover.
okay, I'll trust you on that one. They're coming to Columbus, I think, The Damned.
Oh, you should go see them.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, they are coming. I
Really?
think.
Yeah.
Grant,
Come on down, Martin. We'll go.
that compilation. Sorry, James. Grant, that compilation. Is it Audio Visions by Kansas that it made you think of? Because Marlon
I
said
think
that.
no. Audio Vision's the back cover.
The
Reminds
back.
me of
Yeah.
that.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Jamie.
exactly.
That's
I knew
yeah.
Tim would come up with it. Bless his heart. All right.
All right,
It's
this
Marlon.
is Artists United Against Apartheid
Oh yeah.
for South Africa in the 80s. And there was a club down there called Sun City, and they would like dish out a bunch of money and say, come play our place. And these artists said, we ain't going to play Sun City. And I bought this because Pat Benatar's on it, and she has one line in the song, separation of families. I can't understand 6 words. I bought it for 6 words. The other songs, it's hard to tell who's playing on what because it doesn't really tell you. One is Miles Davis. The people on here, though, you got Miles Davis, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Run DMC, Jimmy Cliff, Jackson Brown, Pete Townsend, the Fat Boys, Bono, Pat Benatar. What a eclectic
Jamie,
artist.
I do want to say this. I bought this at Half Price Books up in Lewis Center for like $2.
Yeah.
And when I saw it in the bin, I had not seen this since it came out. I swear to God.
Yeah,
I don't
had
think
it
this
on
was a
cassette
big
back in the
seller.
day. I still have it, the cassette, but I bought that vinyl maybe 6-7
But I thought, well, I hadn't heard it since then, so I thought I'd buy it. I hadn't seen it at all since then. Weird.
Yeah. And this is also, I hate to be Pat Benatar related again, but
No.
there was no children, there was no internet back in the late 80s and early 90s.
No.
So to find the little nuggets of Pat Benatar where she was on soundtracks and compilation that you couldn't find on albums, all I had was my intuition. So I would often, I don't know how it worked, but I would see something like this Harry Chapin tribute concert. I remember seeing that like that, and my little sixth sense went, huh, is she on here? She is. I don't know how I did it. I wasn't right 100% of the time. But I got 100% of all her albums that she had a song on.
His spidey sense.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. For Our Children, I saw this and I was like, let me check this one out. Speed soundtrack. I was like, what? Yep, she's got a song on that. Tribute to Edith Piaf. I was like, Spider Pat senses tingling. Got it. But this one, and I can't remember how I found this one either. Just Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Now, all these other songs that I listed and all the songs I've ever gotten on comps and weird things, you can find on our box set. All those songs are on here. So all you got to do is buy this. You don't have to buy all the soundtracks and stuff. However, this one, That Girl, remember That Girl? Marla
That
Thomas.
girl. I love that show when I was a kid.
Yeah, I still watch it sometime on MeTV late at night. So this one has a Pat Benatar song on it, and this is all songs for kids. Pat's kind of rocks, and it's called Jimmy Says. You cannot find this song anywhere on the box set anywhere except that. So that cover always reminded me of the intuition I used to have back in the day when I needed it.
That's so awesome.
There you go.
Real quick,
Oh,
the 1990
Oh.
hit and alternative rock was becoming a thing, and a lot of these
go ahead.
a lot of these comps, they didn't know what to call it. So this one has like the Rave Ups and UB40 and Flesh for Lulu and the Cramps, and they didn't the Psychedelic Furs, the Alarm. They didn't call it alternative rock. They still called it post-modern music. 1990. But this came out in 1990, and it's Theodore, an alternative music sampler. Also has the Rave Ups on it, but now they're calling it alternative rock. And you got, I'm going to catch the ball. I'm going to catch the ball. No.
He didn't catch the ball.
No, they didn't catch the ball. And this one is just a classic 90s comp. No alternative. You saw it everywhere.
I remember
You
that.
saw it in the
Legendary.
$3 bin. You saw it in the used bins. You probably still see it. But this has a Soundgarden song on it called "Show Me," and it's that you can't get anywhere else. And a Smashing Pumpkins song.
Nice.
Woo!
Good job. We
You
did it.
made it.
Very
We
cool.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this show went long, but
Yeah,
that's
that's a long
okay.
one. Wrap her up.
All right, I want to thank the panel tonight: Michael Lodano, Jamie Martin, of course, Johnny Metal in his shirt and his beard, and Tim Durling. Martin's got his shirt on too.
Clutch.
I'm not what? Oh,
Clutch.
Clutch, of course.
Yeah.
All you people with your damn shirts. All right. If you'd like to be on these panels, we'd love to have you. We have a Patreon. Please join us if you'd like to contribute and support the channel that way. We also have a Ko-fi. Buy us a pint or a cup of coffee. We'd love that. We also take donations, and we had a dono tonight. If I could pop it up, we want to thank William Walker for the dono. We much appreciate it. Thank you so much. Other than that, I think we're done. We'll be back next week. We do know what the topic is next week. We're doing, Martin, what's the topic? We're
I
doing
can't believe it's not
like
hypnosis.
album covers.
hypnosis.
Can't
Or
believe
is-
it's not hypnosis. Yes.
I
that's-
can't believe it's not hypnosis. So tune in next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be back for yet another Contrarians live chat. So please check us out then. I need to get rid of this graphic. I need to pop over here. We will see you, people. Have
All
a
right.
good
See you,
rest of
folks.
your week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.